that, in different traditions, in different religions, they slightly differently approach the idea, what is your true nature or true self or soul, and how experience it, because sometimes it maybe can be experienced. I'm only not sure about Christianity. Yeah, they speak about soul, and then it's eternal, kind of, but how you can experience your soul, I don't remember, not so sure. But more my kind of spiritual search, more kind of conscious choice was I study a little bit Hinduism, different kinds, and I start with, they call it Hare Krishna, when they sing and dance like Hare Krishna, blah, blah, blah. So, and there, when you sing, it's mostly like one mantra just with different melody. When you sing, you may get some kind of joy and happiness from kind of commit yourself to something, to the God, at least you believe like this. And then they say this experience of pure bliss or kind of ecstasy, this is experience of true your true nature or the God, so all these kind of things. Then when I moved to India and find some other sect, also Indian sect, and they're more practical kind of. They say also the search usually you try to find yourself, you try to find your true nature kind of. And one teacher told me can you know right now that you are aware? Can you know right now that you are present, that you experience seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting? I said, yeah, of course I can know. And so he said, that kind of knowing, this is your true self. That's knowing, this is a God, this is a Shiva or Krishna or whatever. So, and I was kind of, I really spent some time to find myself, and this is right here with me. But they're kind of, compared to Buddhism, a little bit different understanding. They believe that this is a self which is eternal, kind of, which is everlasting. From Buddhist perspective, we also know that this is a good practice. Be present, yeah? Just be with your experience. In the seeing, only seeing. Hearing, only hearing. In the cognize, only cognize. Just, we need to have right view. And we understand this is just a practice. This is not the end result, kind of. I'm wondering, in Chinese tradition, in Chinese traditional religion or belief, what is the true self and how it can be experienced? Is it something like this in Chinese? Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Okay. So also no specific way how to experience the soul, yeah? Yeah, also I try to recall in Christianity, yeah, you have to believe in soul, but how to experience this? This is quite interesting. So most of this religion based on belief, yeah, you have to trust, you have to believe. And I mean, it's also not bad idea to be aware of your actions, understanding that you would be reborn according to these actions, yeah, like Christianity or maybe in Chinese religion also, you would be reborn somewhere according to your deeds, yeah, maybe how merit you make or something like this. Practically, I mean, it's good to be a good person, yeah, for this kind of reason. But if you want to understand more deeper, yeah, if you want to understand kind of, yeah, what is this true self, and is these things exist at all, like eternal true self, what they usually referring to. So, in one sutta, in Samyutta Nikaya, there was a meeting between with Venerable Ananda and Venerable Udayin. So Venerable Udayin approached Venerable Ananda, and at the beginning they have some, in suttas they usually say like heartwarming or cordial conversation. When they finish this, they usually go straight to Dhamma. So I would imagine it's something like Tai Kei Ho, Ni Hao Ma. So some kind of conversation which, maybe they laugh together or something like this, light. So, and then Venerable Udayin asked Venerable Ananda, is it possible the same way as the Blessed One, the Buddha, described that this body is not self? Is it possible the same way describe the consciousness, if the consciousness also non-self? So here it's interesting reference to other suttas. It's not described here, but I just want to kind of maybe discover it together. So how does the Buddha, okay, maybe first question, why it's important for us not to consider this body as a self? Like this physical body, to have arms, have legs, have head, smile sometimes sad. So why is this important to consider this body not as a self? Yeah. Yeah. So also kind of ultimately be free from suffering, yeah? Because attachment leads to suffering. Like if I attach to this body and treat it as a my body, or even that is I, then if something change, yeah, with body always change, and especially like aging, decay, yeah, it's always happening. And if I attach, I suffer. So I always, you know, when like in the past, when you watch some movies with your favorite actress, usually you watch several movies, yeah, like early movies, later movies, and then in early movies she may be like 18 and she look like one appearance, yeah. Then a little bit later movies, like she may be 35 and she look almost totally different, yeah. You can recognize, but like if you see these movies like very special, like in one day, let's say you look you see several movies, and then you see like who is this, like you're not sure, then you watch in internet, oh okay, it's the same actress, and then maybe you see later even the most latest movies when she like almost 50 or something, it's like totally different person, yeah. Of course you can trace the features, like common features, but they are totally changed, you know. And then I start to notice in myself as well, like looking picture, and maybe when I'm 15, then maybe 25 or something, then now like 36, I mean, it's kind of different person, yeah, like features. I hope my mother would recognize me. But still, like, it's very different, yeah, we change. Not to speak about, like, sickness and other things, what obviously suffering. And if I'm kind of into appearance, and, I mean, even not into appearance, just attachment, and treating as a myself, or belonging to me, then I suffer, yeah. Like previously I was pretty, now not anymore. Then after 10, 15 years, like ugly maybe or something like this. So if I take it just body change, it's one attitude. Yeah, of course, no one want to have ugly body. Yeah, but if I say like it's me or my change, then it's different attitude. It's bring a lot of attachment, bring a lot of suffering. Okay, so and then how, like as the sutta say, in many ways the Blessed One, the Buddha described how to treat this body not as a self. So which are even one way? Can you recall? Like, the sutta say many ways. Can we recall at least one way how the Buddha in other suttas describe how to treat this body as not self? Okay, so I give you some hint. You know, in Buddhism we have 4 elements. Yeah, so it's like 4, yeah, a kind of ancient way how to treat the quality of the material elements in the world according to their kind of characteristics. Like earth element or principle of hardness, something solid. Then water element, principle of like liquidity. Is this a word, liquidity? So something liquid. And then wind element is principle of movement, and the fire element, principle of transformation. So something transformed from one aggregate to another, from one way to another. So and then Sutta also describes that, like same way as in the body we have hard elements, yeah, like earth elements, like some bones, skin, teeth, hairs, like all these hard things, solid things. Same way outside, this table, floor, like ceiling and other things, like they have hardness, yeah, they have kind of solidity, yeah. So same way, same like next element, water. Outside it would be like this drink, for example, yeah, it have a liquid. Inside, usually we don't like liquids inside the body, yeah. They're always disgusting, like blood. I mean, no one likes blood. Then of course like spit or urine and other things, I mean, they are not nice. I think one of them they call the liquid inside the joints. And this for me less disgusting because I actually never see it. What is it? Hopefully, I mean, only if you have some serious knee injury, you may kind of absorb it. But even then, you usually go to hospital and they kind of, you're unconscious, they do some stuff. So, but when we see some liquid, it's usually well, always kind of disgusting. But when I see this juice, oh, it's so nice, you know. It's so. But actually, the Sutta says the water elements, the liquid stuff, they're kind of the same. No difference in terms of quality. Then wind element, they say usually inside it's more like air, or when you breathe, or the parts between the organs where it's kind of nothing between. And outside air, it's also just air. If I breathe air outside and air inside, maybe it have a little bit different like molecule quality. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert, but I would imagine inside, because when we breathe out, it's more like what's the element they call? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it means the air actually changed a little bit, but the quality of air, I mean, in terms of it's moving, it's moving from one place to another. It's the same. And the fire element, usually they say inside the body, it's like, I mean, in ancient Indian, I think in Chinese also, they say fire of, when you consume your food, like fire of stomach. So this kind of heat, So like the same way, outside fire, inside fire. I mean, of course, it's a bit different, When I make a fire, like to put a gas, and the inner fire, it's kind of different fire. But the quality of heat, that's the same. So, and if you treat reflect on it, and it helps you to understand that, this body is just a combination of elements. And element change, same way is outside. Something happened with the, water element. There would be a lot of water in Taiping, sometimes a lot of rain. Or no rain. I remember there was a few weeks of no rain, and we almost have a trouble with water, normal water, for just to kind of wash yourself. So it's interesting how we depend on this, And inside also, there's some disturbance, especially in Ayurveda, Indian medicine, they also believe like some problem with wind element inside, there will be one kind of sickness, some problem with other element inside, another kind of sickness. So kind of, we don't have full control of this, So these things are kind of just element. We can cause and create conditions to maybe improve or decrease our quality of life and feelings of the body, but ultimately we all going to age, like there's no way. Like I see young kids here, like, and now you feel like, oh, look at, I don't know, some other person who old, and like, oh no way, like he's like even different human beings, Sometimes I remember myself when I was like kid, look at the old person, like he's a human being or not, Not so sure. Because the different soil like appear and like apparent, But it just very fast, You grow old and then you change your body and then you become one of that alien human beings. Another way in suttas how to reflect on the like non-self of the body. Okay. But I mean body. If you speak about only body. So this would be the 32 parts. So when you reflect on, okay, this body have a skin, this body have a nails, this body have a teeth, and go inside, this body have a heart and liver and all these things. So, of course, this practice very often brings some asubha aspect, when you feel it's unattractive. But also it's break your body to the elements, to the not elements what you cannot see, because earth element, water element, maybe water element you can see, but earth element, wind element, it's more like concept, like with a quality. But things like nails, everyone can see nails, hairs and other things. And one practical things to do it, you can actually, every time when you detach any part of your body, sounds kind of terrible, but I mean, like, you cut your nails, for example, you cut your hairs, or I don't know, in more gross sense, you go to toilet, big business, something come out from your body. So you kind of look and reflect that this was previously what I considered myself. So this was my body. So now I look at my nails, it's my nails, But when I cut some piece, it doesn't seem as mine anymore, So this kind of, but what changed? It's just the action when you detach, when you cut it, or when you excrete, when you go to toilet. But the kind of thinks what's, it's ultimately just a part of the body, and it's not really, you cannot say it's my, yeah? Just by the fact that I cut it, it suddenly become not my, yeah? It's some kind of, oh, there was me, and now it's not me. So it's magic. So, yeah, when time after time we reflect on these things, it helps us to really detach. And again, as we discussed, the benefit that if something change, we're not that suffer, we're not that grief or something like this. And then if something change with our body and we treat it with wisdom, we can kind of extrapolate. If something change with the body of those who we love, yeah, with our children, with our parents, or any other like people who we love, if something change, we also not that suffer, because we understand that it's not that it's his true self change, yeah, or it's like when you treat your body as a self and you have a child, you treat as your child. I mean, I don't say that you shouldn't treat as your child, of course, but the attachment less, because you understand the body is just combination of elements, and the body of the child also combination of elements, and he eats some food, he breathes some air, so his body is changed. There's no kind of ultimate self in this body. So, and if something happen, of course, we don't want something happen, we want to prevent it, but if it's happen, we just accept it easily. Okay, so it was detour from the sutta. Maybe I can remind you, Venerable Udayin approached Venerable Ananda and asked him how we can see this consciousness the same way as see this body as non-self. And the Venerable Ananda answered that first he told that isn't it that this consciousness depends on the eye and form. So we speak about eye consciousness, of course. So eye consciousness, in another word, experience of seeing, depend on the physical form or shapes, what's out there, and the eye as an organ. So it's usually like not only eye as a one, the eyeball, it's kind of combination with neurons, like part of the brain, which is responsible for sight. So we can say organ for seeing, like the things through which I can see. And the other forms. If there is experience of seeing, depends on these two. And the Venerable Udayin say, yeah, I mean, it's obvious, yeah, we can see because of something there. I have eye, I can see. There are forms outside, I can see. And they always add with the seeing, they add light, because we need light, yeah. When there is no light, I mean, but we can say when there is no light, no external forms, because for me, they are not kind of apparent, they're not visible. So, and then he say, if the cause and condition for experience of seeing would cease, would stop, then would be eye consciousness be discerned? Can we have experience of seeing if one of the conditions cease? No. So, like for example, person lose his eyesight for some reason, yeah, some sickness or whatever accident, and can he see? No, like his faculty of eye disturbed or destroyed or damaged. So even the outside forms are there, even the light sometimes there, yeah, day and night change sometimes, but still he cannot see, he don't have experience of seeing. Same way with hearing, some damage or something like this. Or you even can, like, you don't need to wait for damage, yeah? You can just close your eyes. There's no, I cannot see. There's no physical form, but my eye is there, yeah? So the physical form, physical sight, or sorry, physical, yeah, shapes, they kind of ceased for a moment. So they're no in my range. I close my eyes. And there's no experience of seeing. So can I say, like, by my will, because it's me or myself, I want to see even with closed eyes? I just try to myself, you know, I want to see. I mean, unlikely, yeah? I can imagine that I see, of course. This is kind of imagination. Or because I hear something, I can imagine, oh, this person say come, or like some like fan maybe like with closed eyes. But there is no experience of seeing. And same way with other senses, yeah. Like if the condition cease, stop, there would be no experience of like sense experience. And I mean, this in theory it's obvious. Yeah, who can argue with this? Yeah? when there's something conditioned and what the condition sees, that things also cannot be discerned. It's so obvious. But you know how many, even in the Buddhist world, how many meditation techniques speak about this? Well, not so much, yeah? It's more like watch your breath, watch rise and fall in. And also another thing, how often we pay attention on the cessation of something, when something stop. Because we usually like new things, yeah? When some new experience come, or I get new car, I get new rope, you know, soon there will be Katina, I will get new rope, I'm looking forward. But I'm not noticing that this rope is become old. Only if someone asks me, oh, Bhante, do you need a new rope? That time I look, okay, maybe this rope needs to be changed. But normally in our daily life, we don't pay attention on the cessation of experience. Like, especially when it comes to change of different channels of experience. Like now I see, then I hear, then I smell, taste. So I pay attention on the new experience. I don't pay attention, okay, right now the seeing experience has been ceased. It's almost never happened. It's always come to the new things. But when we pay attention only on new things, we kind of deprive yourself from this like wisdom. Because if you see the cessation of the conditions, you can see that the whole thing's dependable. Yeah, the whole thing's not you, not self, not belonging to you. So, but if everything new, it seems like all experience continues, and I'm the one who see. You know, like it's very easy. Like I told you in that Hindu practice, you are the one who see, you are the one who hear. That's what teachers say, and that's the true self, kind of, because you not pay attention on the change. You not pay attention on that experience is ceased. So, to me, it's like I think the most difficult to detach with a sense of I'm the one who see. Yeah, theoretically reading Buddhist teaching and of course like on intellectual level to be agree with this, it's a one step. But then on experience, like right now, like where am I? Just ask myself. Oh, I'm seeing, yeah. I'm hearing, I'm feeling the body. So I'm the one who experience. It's so deep kind of how to go past this. This is, I think, you know, many lifetime task, like quite difficult. And the obvious things from suttas, at least, it's like pay attention on the change of these channels. Now, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, they change, they're not continuous. And also pay attention, like now we discussed, on the cessation of some experience. So it's not easy, but it's a way. I mean, the Buddha never say the path to liberation is easy and simple. Yeah? Even at the beginning, he was reflected, you know, maybe I shouldn't teach. Yeah, maybe it's so difficult, so profound, even for me, what to speak about other people who kind of delight in this sensual pleasure and all these things. I shouldn't teach. Then, according to story, Brahma came to him and kind of begged him. So, and then the sutta say that once I or the person meditator stop treating this consciousness or sense experience as a self or as something belonging to myself, then it would be like in simile. The sutta gives a simile. So in the same way as a person, imagine the person who needs a hardwood. So he, let's say, carpenter or any other guy who needs hardwood for something, to make something. And so he have the axe, so he dress himself properly, go to the forest. Of course, these days you cannot go to the forest for hardwood, yeah? Government would catch you. But that time it was probably okay. So he went to the forest and see long and high, straight banana tree. You know the tree with bananas, banana tree. So, and then he cut this tree on the root, and he cut the top part of the tree, and he started to unroll it, because banana tree is like a, maybe you know, it's like leaves what roll upon each other. Yeah, many layers. So he started to unroll this, because he needs hardwood. He don't need these leaves. So he unrolls, and then he find nothing, you know, because after you unroll leaves, there would be like other leaves. They unroll another leaves, and the other leaves would be there. So it's like the only leaves the kind of roll to each other, and not even softwood. What to speak about hardwood? So in the same way, the Buddha say, like, if one treats this sense experience as empty, like it should be the same way. Like it's like banana tree, don't have any essence. Or another simile, what also I like from other sutta, would they say, like, imagine the magician or the one who make tricks, illusions, you know, like David Copperfield, you know, the most famous, at least I remember. So he make tricks, yeah, and it's not true magic, but he make tricks. And at the beginning, these kind of tricks or like magic appears to be something miracle, yeah, when especially when you just first time see it, or when you not like never heard how this done, you really can be deceived. Like, oh, there's some essence there. This person no magic. Yeah, this person like knows something. Like maybe he can heal me. All these things. But when you investigate, so to say, when the person investigates and thoroughly kind of penetrate, try to reflect, try to analyze, then for him this magic appears to be as empty. It's just tricks. It's just like musavada, you know, kind of cheating. Yeah. So and there's no essence there. So same way it's like this consciousness, this sense experience, there's no essence there, but only for one who experience this deep investigation. So same as this magic illusion. At the beginning it's look solid, but then when you investigate and then when you're lucky, maybe you Google something to see how this trick has been done, then for you it's not a new thing. And same way, this experience we need to investigate. We need to watch closely how it changed, and is it change? Is it true that the Buddha speak about change? Or when the one experience sees, another experience arise, can I see it? I mean, it's required a lot. Yeah, it's required. That's why most of meditation techniques start with just watching the breath, just watching rising and falling, because we need to settle our mind to really be able to watch this deep, profound, like nature of the reality. Otherwise, we usually engage in all these daily activities. Our mind is kind of restless, yeah, we kind of jump from one to another, or we maybe sometimes tired and lazy, don't want to do anything. So a lot of hindrances. But when you kind of calm your mind, remove the hindrances, then there is a chance at least. There is no guarantee, of course. Many people just practice samatha all life, many lives, you know. And I mean, it's good. People can be reborn in a good destination with a good samadhi, of course. But if you want to ultimately understand the reality and you want to be free from attachment, even to this profound, deep samadhi state, you need to see like impermanence. Yeah, we need to see that things not belonging to myself. It's not that easy, but even intellectual reflection on this is beneficial, because now I reflect on it. Next time when I see something what appears to be like this, oh, I know. Okay, this is not belong to myself. I heard it before as intellectual input. Now I see it in my experience, so it would be insight. So it's wonderful. And of course, only once this kind of insight would not lead you to liberation. Yeah, I mean, it may be lead by a small step there. The direction is correct, but it needs to be repeated again and again, and as often as possible. And then lastly, the sutta speak about the goal, kind of. You say, the one who not treat this experience, sense experience, as a self or belonging to myself, like me or mine. So this person stop being attached. He cannot cling. At the beginning, we discussed why we should treat it, because of non-clinging. Yeah. So obviously, if I treat this experience as self, I cling to it. And then, if he stop clinging, he stop being disturbed. He stop being perturbed. You know, he stop being shaken, or he's like settled. So same way, if I cling to something, yeah, and these things I change, then I also change. Yeah, I also kind of disturbed. I sit on this chair and I attach to it. But then in, I don't know, 50 years, if I sit on this chair in 50 years, I mean, this chair probably would be broken, yeah? So, like wind and other things, so wood can change. But of course, I wish for this chair to last for 50 years. It's a good team's chair. But things, if I attach on something and I believe it's me or mine, and I have clinging, then I would be disturbed. Sooner or later, like maybe now not, but very, very fast the change would happen. And then for one who don't have disturbance, he would be extinguished, so to say. He would attain nibbana. So his fire of greed or hate or delusion would be completely gone. So that's what keeps us in this samsara. Yeah? We want things, or we really hate things, or we just dull and we don't understand what's happening. So that's a worse, of course, but we can improve these things, you know. So by develop our mind, by kind of cultivate our mental qualities, we can, yeah, understand at least a little better. So any questions? We have some time still. Okay. So the question is like, if we take this body as non-self, as not belonging to myself, and when the sickness come, like we just let go, whatever, let me be sick. Yeah, it's just nature. So kind of let go and do nothing, and it disturb us. Yeah. So the thing is that like our attitude. We speak about attitude, how to approach change in the body, in the in the mind, of course. And it doesn't mean that we shouldn't act, we shouldn't treat the disease. It doesn't mean that we should kind of, okay, lie down and, okay, let me die. You know, this body is not self, whatever. Stop eating, stop drinking. So it's not like this. So we approach our necessity. Yeah, we need food, we need sometimes orange juice as well. So we need things. But if I really attach to it, yeah, and things change, it's inevitable. Things change. So as you say, like aging or like sickness, it's happening. And when it's come, and when I understand, okay, it's just the nature of the body, sooner or later it's happen. But what can I do to improve the quality of my life? So this is still valid question, because no one wants to suffer. Yeah. Even, okay, this suffering not belonging to me, but it's still happening. It's still right now. It's not your suffering, yeah. If okay, it's not self, but I cannot stop experiencing this, yeah. The dukkha vedana, the pain, it's unavoidable. Like even Buddha, he had a back pain. You remember maybe from suttas. So he sometimes give a dhamma talk, and then later he say, "Oh, please, Venerable Sariputta, continue. My back is hurt. I need to lie down a little bit." So but he was enlightenment, yeah. He definitely didn't treat this as a self, but he understand. Okay, now this pain would disturb my quality of speech probably, and so I concern about well-being of the sangha, so they would understand the dhamma. So let me heal myself a little bit, lie down, change posture, and another person who are fresh, kind of, who can do it, do this dhamma talk, and then later when I maybe like rest a little bit, I may continue. So he did some action when it was necessary, but there was definitely no suffering on account of, oh, again I have sickness. That's the thing. What's most disturbing, when there is sickness, when there is old age, we suffer usually. In suttas they usually bring this simile of the two arrow. I think it's very famous, you remember, yeah? When the person has been pierced by one arrow, and then immediately in the same spot there was another arrow, yeah. So, or dart, another word. And the similes stand for when the painful feelings arise in the body, and then the mind react with a rejection. I don't want this. I want out. I want out of this pain. So that's what we want to avoid, because this was most painful. Yeah, the physical body, yeah, brings some pain, of course, but without this mental attitude, it's like you feel 50%, like 100% less pain, or even more sometimes, because we tend to proliferate and imagine. Like sometimes I know, you know, when I don't sleep, for example, for some reason, this night I cannot sleep. And then I start to suffer because tomorrow I will be feel weak because of lack of sleep. So I already start to suffer this night. So all night I suffer. And then of course morning, because I really imagine myself. So I think it's like 500% more than just physical suffering. Because physical suffering is little. So that's what usually the sutta speak. So just remove this attachment so you don't have mental suffering. But do some actions when it's necessary. When you can do, but when nothing can be done, then just let go, you know. Because when we approach some action with more letting go attitude, we think clear, you know. We're not really like overcome by this pain or something like this. So many times when one person have a bad decisions just because he's in a bad mood, yeah, or in a bad shape or sick. So when people sick, they usually kind of agree with anything. Okay, whatever, agree with anything. But then later they kind of regret, yeah. But if at that moment I just experience, okay, this pain in the body, but my mind is kind of clear. My mind is, don't treat it as self, don't attach to it. Then I can approach this decision with more clear mind. So that's what's required to be, yeah, mentally liberated with this body, like accept this nature, and sometimes do something when it's necessary. Go to a doctor, do some like take some medicine, do exercise regularly, So these things are like no one deprive you from this. Like don't do exercise, don't take care about your body. So no one say like this.